I'd like to take a minute to talk about bars, which I addressed last week. So when I began phase 3 and we allowed restaurants to open, including bars, I said that we were in the business of trying to help you get back into business. And we still are. But the fact of the matter is, we've been in phase 3 for a month, and there's no excuse anymore for not complying. You know, the first week or two, you had to learn the rules. Folks really weren't sure how to do it, and we understood that. We've been at it for a month now. We've seen too many problems with overcrowding in bars, and so we're going to really start to increase our enforcement. And quite frankly, it's not fair to the vast majority of restaurants who are following the rules. So the grace period is over, and we're going to start to get tougher with enforcement. If you're not following the rules, we're going to shut you down. Period. We have to. We're going to work with you so you can safely reopen, help you, get things in order so that you can reopen, because we want you to be in business, but we can no longer take any risks. And the excuse of, I haven't figured it out yet, is no longer going to be any good because we've been at it for over a month. The biggest problems we're seeing now are in restaurants that have a bar and allowing crowding around the bar. That's how people get sick. I would say to you as an individual Rhode Islander, if you find yourself at a restaurant and you're in a crowd, you should leave. Get out of the crowd. That's how you get sick. If you're in a line, in a line for drinks, you shouldn't be. That shouldn't be allowed. Any crowding in any restaurant is where you get sick. It's not where you should be. So I just want to take a second to remind everybody the phase 3 guidelines for restaurants and bars. In phase 3, bars can't operate like bars. Bars should not look like bars. They have to look like restaurants. So if you own a bar or a restaurant with a bar, you have 3 options. Number 1, you can have a bartender, but no bar seating. You cannot have people sit at the bar and serve drinks. Cannot do that. Number 2, you can have bar seating for dinner, food service, but no bartender, because we can't have people close to the bartender. And number 3, you could have a plexiglass barrier between the bartender and the seated customers. Under no circumstances, period, no exceptions, can you have standing service. Someone has to deliver a drink to someone who's seated. And this is what we're going to really crack down on. This is very simple, folks. You cannot have standing drink service, period. It's a bright line rule. Don't do it. And we're really going to start cracking down on that. Drinks can be served, but people have to be seated and distanced away from each other and away from the staff. We'll be sending out more inspectors and cracking down on the bad actors. Last weekend, inspectors went out to just over 150 bars and restaurants across the state. Over a third of them didn't have sufficient separation between bartenders and customers. Over a third. A number of our inspections involved return visits to a restaurant with previous violations. There's just no excuse for that. A dozen of the visits were so egregious that DBR had to issue compliance orders. And for many businesses, that meant immediately shutting down the bar areas until we were satisfied that the rules could be followed. Starting today, we'll be publishing a list of these businesses at reopeningri.com. So if you're a member of the public and you want to know who are these restaurants that aren't following the rules, go to reopeningri.com and check it out. It'll be there on an ongoing basis. By the way, we also want to recognize establishments that are doing a great job, which is the majority, 2/3 or more. So we're going to be highlighting best practices in our newsletters and websites to acknowledge them for their hard work, but also to share their good ideas and creative ideas. If you are out and about and you see crowding at bars or standing service for drinks, help us out and call us. DBR, you can go to the DBR website, dbr.ri.gov, or we've set up a tip line 889-5550, 889-5550. Call us. Anonymous tip. Let us know. I will say this. Last week at this press conference, I gave a similar message to bars. And after, we were deluged by calls from restaurants that said, Gov, please don't shut us down. We are following the rules. So here's my message to you. I don't want to shut you down. I want everyone to be in business. Massachusetts, Connecticut, other states, their restaurant capacity is 50%. I went to 2/3. I'm trying to get folks to work. I need your help. If you are following the rules, go to reopeningri.com and see the restaurants that aren't following the rules and help us get your colleagues to follow the rules. If it doesn't get better, I'll have no choice. We'll have to do what Massachusetts, Connecticut, and other places are doing and just cut back. And the frustrating thing about that is there's no need to. If we follow the rules, don't allow crowding, enforce mask wearing, do the keeping everybody's contact information, we should be able to keep going. I would say consider this almost like a last warning. We are going to do our part. We're going to increase our inspections. We're going to get tougher with enforcement. We're going to be quicker to shut down operations that are not even trying to comply. I'm asking the people of Rhode Island to do your part, avoid crowding, call the tip line, and I'm asking the Hospitality Association and other restaurants, help us do what you can to enforce the rules on your peers who aren't following the rules, because they're about to ruin it for everybody, and that would be crushing and doesn't have to be that way.